My name is Trisha, and my husband Brett and I have been married for 3 years. We built our own home right after we got married. Currently, we live with Brett's mother, who raised him as a single parent. The decision to live together was driven by Brett's strong desire to make his mother's life easier and her reluctance to live alone. Despite my initial apprehensions about living with my strong-willed mother-in-law, it turned out to be as difficult as I had imagined. I soon found that my time at work was my only escape. I am responsible for grocery shopping after work and preparing dinner, as my mother-in-law does no housework. I'm using the kitchen right now. Can you wait a bit? She asked. But I need to start making dinner soon, I replied. I'll be done in a little bit. Just wait for me. Okay, I understand. Why is there only one kitchen even though we live together? I wondered aloud. When we suggested a two-family house, you refused, remember? Did I? I was probably being considerate then. The house would have been more expensive if we had chosen a two-family house, wouldn't it? That's true, but in hindsight, it might have been better to have at least two kitchens. I thought so too, but I was being patient. You should be thankful to me for that. Is that so? I thought you refused the two-family house because you didn't want to be alone. That's not the case. If I could, I would have preferred a two-family house. Should we consider renovating then? Fine by me, but I can't pay for it. If we do, we would need some financial support from you as well. I have no intention to work anymore, and I spent a lot of money on Brett being a single mother, so I hardly have any retirement savings. Therefore, I can't contribute. But Brett and I are paying for all the household expenses, including the mortgage and utilities. If you want a two-family house, we would need your help. I don't have any money to spare. I spent all my money on Brett. Brett is working at a good company, so he should pay me back more than I spent on him. If that's the case, we'll have to cooperate and get along from now on. Why do I have to be told what to do by you? If you earn more money, you can afford to renovate, can't you? I'm not telling you what to do, and I don't think my salary is going to increase any further, so please don't count on me. Even though Brett makes a high salary because he married you with your low income, we can't live comfortably at all. What are you trying to say? Sometimes I can't help but think it would have been nicer if Brett had married someone better. Is that so? You're able to live because of my son, whom I've raised so carefully, so don't get too big for your britches. I'm working too, you know. I know exactly how much you make. You should be more grateful to my high-earning son. I am grateful. But what? If you're living off the money my son earned, so don't complain about this and that. I might be relying on him, but I do earn my own money as well. Enough. Why are you so angry? If you were highly paid, I wouldn't have to put up with these hard days. That's why I'm irritated. Even if you tell me that now, why do I have to live alone with you every day? Because Brett is on a business trip, we have no choice. He's almost never home for the past 3 years. It's his job, so we can't help it. He didn't go on business trips before marriage. Why did this happen? Because he changed jobs. But it's the same profession, right? Can the conditions change that much? It seems like a company with a lot of business trips. I'd rather live alone than this. If you hate living with just the two of us that much, why don't you live alone? Are you going to pay for my living expenses then? Maybe I'll do that. Why don't you ask Brett? Brett will definitely want to live with me. That may be true. I'll talk to him when he comes back on the weekend. During the week, Brett is away on business trips, so it's usually just me and my mother-in-law staying in the house we built. Even though I felt discontented, I tried my best not to cause a conflict. But it seems that my mother-in-law also dislikes living with me. We decided to discuss it when Brett comes home. It doesn't seem to work out with the three of us, so I talked to Brett first. Your mom said she doesn't like living with just me. What? Why? She doesn't like that you're not at home because of your business trips. Well, I can't help it. It's my job. She said she'd rather live alone than live with just me. What? It's your fault for making Mom say that. Why is it my fault? If you got along with her, she wouldn't have said such things. I bet you're just giving her lip, aren't you? No, that's not the case. I've been cooking meals and doing all the house chores properly. Well, that's expected, isn't it? What do you mean by that? Mom has been through a lot raising me. I want her to have an easier time now. And that's why I'm trying to do right by her. Do right by her? House chores are your responsibility. What's with that attitude? Please get along with Mom better. I'm doing my best, but if it's causing stress for both of us, maybe it would be better for her to live on her own. What a waste of money that would be. Well, yes, but maybe we should have built a duplex then. We can't afford a renovation now. If you could just curb your spending habits a bit, that wouldn't be a problem. Why is it always my fault? You're receiving extra for business trips, so instead of wasting it on slot machines, why not put it towards our living expenses? We'll be able to afford a renovation then. I don't want to do that. Slot machines are my only joy during those trips. What are we supposed to do being stressed out then? All you need to do is put in more effort and we'll get along like a real family. That's easy for you to say, but it's not easy to build a real familial bond with your in-laws, you know. You can say that after you've put in the effort. What's that supposed to mean? I'll ask Mom to be a bit more patient with you. Patient? It sounds like you're saying it's all my fault. Man, this is such a hassle. Your job is twofold: to get along with Mom and to take care of the house. I'm counting on you when I'm not home. It seemed Brett had spoken to my mother-in-law because she'd eventually gave up on the idea of me moving out. However, things got even worse after that conversation. One day at dinner, just the two of us again. I don't want this. It tastes bad. What's wrong? You've been very picky lately. Brett told me something. What was it? He said that I should get along better with you. I see. He told me that I should speak my mind and not hold back. Is that so? He said that if I lived as if you were my own daughter, my stress would disappear. So I decided to stop holding back. Even if I didn't want to eat something, I had been eating it anyway. But I decided to stop that too. So that's what it was. From that day forward, my mother-in-law became more and more selfish. My stress piled up higher than ever. Whenever I tried to discuss it with Brett, he would just say that I wasn't trying hard enough and wouldn't help me at all. I finally reached my breaking point. By the way, did you clean the bathroom yesterday? Yes, I did. You left it dirty. After hearing that from my mother-in-law, who had just gotten out of the bath, my anger reached its peak. I'm sick and tired of being nagged about these little things every single day. Huh? Brett told me to treat you like my real daughter, so that's what I'm doing. Real daughter? I don't remember becoming your daughter. What's with that attitude? I think you're mistaking me for a servant, not a daughter. Well, now that you mention it, you do seem like a servant. I'm not your servant. Then why don't you leave? That's what I should be saying. What, do you really plan on kicking me out even though you don't contribute to living expenses? Of course. Brett is the head of the household. But I'm Brett's wife. What are you talking about? I am Brett's mother. Do you think a wife has a higher status? It's not about status or anything like that. Then what is it? Do you think Brett will choose you? I think Brett will choose you, mother-in-law, because he cherishes you so much. That's more like it. Are you really sure it's okay if I leave? Why worry? It'll definitely be okay without you. I feel relieved, actually. Is that so? Even if it might make things financially difficult, it's okay. Huh? Why worry? It's none of your business. I understand. Brett earns $70,000 annually. We're comfortable, so stop undermining us. I'm not undermining. I'm just worried. There's no reason for you to worry. Stop belittling us. Get a divorce quickly. Understood. There seems to be no need to discuss this with Brett. I will pack my things and leave promptly. Finally the nuisance is gone. Several days later, I left without saying anything to Brett. If I had consulted with Brett, who adores his mother, I would have been the one blamed. As if to prove it, there was no contact from Brett, who must have returned from his business trip. I decided to divorce and would meet with Brett alone. Dude, I told you to get along with Mom. Why did you fight? It seems you're only siding with your mother, making everything my fault. What, you want to say you were harassed by Mom? Let's not. There's no need to argue here. I've already decided to get a divorce. Wait, are you intending to divorce me? Yes. Did you think we weren't going to divorce? Well, we're not on bad terms or anything. There's no way I can continue to live with a mother-in-law like that. And you, Brett, you're a mama's boy who has no intention of helping me. I'm not a mama's boy. You're nothing. Is that so? Your mother is all about you, Brett. It's mutual love, so enjoy it. Hey, you must be kidding me. I wish you a lifetime of happiness. We finalized our divorce papers without any issues, and the house, which was mortgaged under Brett's name, became his. A month after the divorce, I received a call from Brett. He said he needed to discuss something with me and his mother, so I reluctantly agreed to meet them. Wait a minute, what's going on? Why are you being so emotional all of a sudden? Don't play innocent. Excuse me, but we can't make ends meet with Brett's earnings alone. Well, of course you can't. What do you mean? We used to cover our living expenses with my earnings too, and he's bringing home less than I thought, less than $70,000 a year. It seems like you were mistaken, mother-in-law. What do you mean? The one making $70,000 a year is me. What? Then how much does Brett make? Brett used to earn around $50,000 a year before he changed jobs, but it dropped significantly after that. I didn't know that. Well, it's not a surprise. It's not something we would necessarily tell you. Even so, his take-home pay is way too low. That's because his salary is being deducted for his gambling debt. What? That's why his take-home pay is significantly less, and I had to supplement the shortfall with my salary. Why didn't you tell me sooner? No, I did tell you. I warned you that it would be financially tough, but then you told me it was none of your business. Well, I didn't say anything because I thought it would be bothersome to you. He seems to be gambling every day on his business trips too. Brett has a gambling addiction, you know. We managed to pay this month's gas, water, electricity, and everything else. But I don't think we can cover them for next month. That sounds tough. It is. So come back. What are you talking about? Marry him again and come back. That's way too convenient for you. If you come back, I promise I won't meddle or complain anymore. I apologize for everything in the past. That's impossible. At that point, Brett, who had been silent all along, spoke up. I didn't know anything about the money situation either. I thought we were making do with just my salary, but there's no way that was possible. I feel guilty for always siding with my mother. Can't we start over? Being able to leave a gambling addict was a relief, so remarrying is absolutely out of the question. What's with that attitude? Moreover, I can't handle a mama's boy. Don't say such things. You two are in love, so why not work together and give it your all? You should be able to make it. I'd like to leave soon if we're done with this topic. It's my day off, and I have things to do. Please come back home. If you don't, I'll be the one who has to work. Please work hard and support Brett. I'm counting on you. Ignoring their pleas for reconciliation, I went home. I had kept their contacts in case something happened, but I took this opportunity to block them and delete their contacts. I requested a transfer to a store near my parents' house and moved into an apartment close by. Brett's house is about a 2-hour drive away, and Brett dislikes my father, so he probably won't come to this area. Half a year later, while working at the previous store near Brett's house as part of a support team, I passed by their house and was surprised to find it was up for sale. They must have been unable to make the payments. Later, while I was at work, I saw my mother-in-law at the supermarket next to the cell phone shop. She noticed me and approached. I finally found you. What's going on? I thought we might meet if I waited here. To my surprise, my mother-in-law was working at the supermarket next to the cell phone shop. Where are you working? You can tell by looking, so yes, I'm working here. So you're working here in hopes of seeing me? That's right. I wanted to ask you to come back home as soon as I saw you. Are you still saying that? I have no intention of returning. Don't say that. We had to sell our house and can't live there anymore. I see. We're somehow managing to live in a small apartment, just the two of us. Well, that's good. You're living happily with your beloved son. Don't mock me. Brett has a part-time job now and often doesn't come home on his days off. We barely have any time to talk. Is that so? Brett must be having a hard time. I didn't want to work anymore, but look at me now. You're having a tough time too, but please continue to support Brett. I can't do it. Please, won't you consider reconciling? Stop being so persistent. I've told you it's impossible. Don't say that. Please. I have to get back to work. I don't have time to engage in pointless conversations. It's not pointless for me. It is pointless. I wish you and Brett a long and happy life together. Wait a minute. Apparently, the two of them who sold the house are now living in a small apartment. As far as I know, they still have 2 years left to repay their gambling debt, so they'll probably live hand to mouth until then. I hope they can work together and overcome this. As for me, I'm doing my job every day with energy and enjoyment. Things have been going well for me since the divorce. Good things come in bunches, and I'm grateful to be dating a wonderful man right now. I want to be happy next time.